Yo, what's going on? All my homies, homettes, dudes, and dudettes. It's your boy Will, back again with another video. And today I want to talk about 10 daytime fragrances for a date. You know, when you're going out on a date and it's a day date and, it's nothing really serious, but you want to make a little bit of an impression. Let's check these out. All right, so let's go. I got 10 fragrances here, and I got 10, and I kind of have them split up for like summer and spring fragrances for a day date, and winter and fall fragrances for a day date. So let's start out with the summertime. Summertime, I'm thinking of this fragrance, and this would be good for like an outing with your friends, like if you're having a cookout or you're eating outside, things like that. And that would be Bergamot. Bergamot by Commodity. This it obviously it has bergamot in it, but it's more than just bergamot. It has mint in it, and I think it's orange. It has a very bright vibe to it. So if you're outside and you're mixing and mingling with people, this is a really fresh fragrance to kind of mingle in with each person, and it's nothing aggressive, and it feels really good and light in the air. So that would be a good scent to wear for a cookout day date. If you're hanging out with your girl or your man, and you're going on a date to their friend's house or something like that. The next one we have is this one. This one is Timbuktu. Is that gonna come in? There it is, Timbuktu. And this is by Artisan. I'll have the names on there. But this fragrance, this is a really good fragrance. Oh man, it has a note of pear. And it kind of gives you a relaxed kind of sophisticated vibe. So this would be a good fragrance to wear, like if you did like a boat trip, like a day boat trip, or if you did like even if you went on a paddle boat, because I think this coming off the water, it would be really nice and very sensual, and it would be good for a daytime date. So that's number 2 or number 9. I'm not really counting them down, but this is the second one for the summertime, summer/spring. And the next one is this one here. This one is a really good one. This is actually a clone of Ganymede, and this is Celestial. And this one has kind of a minerality vibe to it. It's a real easygoing fragrance, but it has a minerality to it, and it almost feels a little bit of extra, like it has a more personality to it. So this one, if you were to go rock climbing or bouldering or lead climbing, something like that, this would be really good, because this mixed with the air of the rock climbing, even though they're rubbery, it gives you a vibe of that minerality, like what you would get from an actual rock or a boulder. So yeah, this would be good for a rock climbing day date. And this is, again, Celestial. All right, like I said, I'll have the names up there. The next one, this one is also a clone or impression of a fragrance. This is Luxador, Loyal, Agar, if that's coming in. So this is Lux Laurel Agar. This one smells very, very, very close to Parfums de Marly Slayton. And this one, oh man, pressurized sprayer, really good. This one is really good if you are doing something where you're moving about and you're hanging out in a certain area. So I would say use this one for like if you're going to an art gallery or a exhibition, something like that, and you want to be noticed, but you don't want to be overly noticed. You know what I mean? And this one be a really good one for that. And the next one, this one would be really good for a date that's outside, a lunch date that's outside, that's on a terrace, preferably like on a ceiling, on a top terrace of a hotel or a apartment or something like that. And that is L'Homme Ideal, the cologne version. This one has a note of all of these Ideal versions have a note of almond, and it has a nice fresh note. It's fresh, but it also has that almond in it. So in the air, especially if you're out and about in the air, if it's a big open space and you're outside, this would really go really, really good with the air flowing around. You know, your date might catch a whiff of it and like, okay, might want to move in closer. But yeah, for a terrace lunch, like out on the terrace, a lunch date during the day, L'Homme Ideal cologne. And that is 5. That's 5 from the spring and summer. Those were kind of spring and summer kind of vibes. Right now, I'm going to go into the winter and fall kind of vibes. This one, the first one that I have is an old faithful. A lot of people forget about this one because it has so many flankers and the flankers have been so well done. But the original Spice Bomb, it has that spicy note of, you know, cinnamon and I think it's nutmeg, and it has that it's a little creamy in the dry down. This would be really good for I got 4. Yeah, I do have 4. This would be really good for walking around, and if you went downtown to a museum or something that was inside, but you don't spray a whole lot, obviously, because this can get a little cloying. But yeah, I think like a museum, a day date during the day, walking around to a museum, this would be a really, really good one. So the next one up is, this is more so for like fall, but getting closer to the winter portion. And this one is Boss Bottle, and this is the Oud edition. This one is so good. This one has that the normal Boss Bottle vibe, but it has saffron, and it has something else in there. I'll put it up. There's something else that's in here, but this one would be good if you were having a date where you were going to a pumpkin patch. If you were walking through a pumpkin patch or an apple patch and you were picking apples, picking pumpkins, this would go so well, like around the fall time and after the leaves have changed colors during the day. Now these fragrances, you can use them anytime. You can use them at daytime or nighttime, but this is a good fragrance for a day date, for going through a pumpkin patch and picking out pumpkins, picking out apples, you know, things like that. So the next one we have is, this is actually a cheap fragrance. This is David Beckham's Intimacy. Is that coming in? Yeah, there we go. David Beckham's Intimacy. This is a really good one if you had if you were having a day date and you went away somewhere to a log cabin This will blend very well. Like if you're outside in the log cabin, or like sitting on the porch up part of the log cabin, just hanging out, having drinks, or smoking a cigar, or just vibing with your date at the time. This would be a really good vibe. Kind of gives you a little bit of vibe of like a Dolce and Gabbana, the original one. Kind of a little bit, but it's a little bit more spicy than that one. So this, like I said, this is a cheapie. This is a really good fragrance, regardless if you want to use it for a day date or just pick it up. I think these bottles, the 100 milliliter bottles, are maybe like $15-20. So it's a good pickup if you are looking for another fragrance. Again, that one is for the fall/winter time. The next one up, speaking of Dolce & Gabbana, this one is One Luminous Night by Dolce & Gabbana. And this one would be good for, this one would be good for anything. But if you were to go on a date with your significant other, or just a intro date to like the go-kart, like the F1 inside go-kart racing, if you did that, you put this one on, and preferably you will be in front of your date so they can catch your sea ox. This is really good. This one it smells similar to the original, the one EDP, but it has another note of dates in it. A date for dates, but it's the note of date, the fruit, and it gives it a different kind of vibe than your normal, the one. I mean, but you have to be close and you have to be really knowing what you're smelling for. But this will be really good for, again, F1 go-kart track racing, or the electric go-kart track racing inside. This will be really, 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 really good. And that was 9. Oh, I have one more. This one, oh man, this one is just an amazing bottle. This is Cartier's. I don't even know if that name will come up, but this is Linval by Cartier. And this one, oh man, this is so good in the air. So if it's wintertime and the leaves had already fallen and you had this on, go do something like putt-putt, miniature golf. Oh my goodness. And if the person you're with can catch this in the air, because this has a note of honey in it, and oh man, that note smells so good in the air, and with the crispiness of fall or /winter, where you might have a jacket on, but it's still not too cold. This will be amazing. And this is an amazing presentation too. I don't know if you can see that. This is a whole bottle inside this glass fixture, and then to open the sprayer, you twist it and then you twist it down. But this is an amazing fragrance. Even if you don't want to use it as day date fragrance, this is a good fragrance. All right, that is 10 good fragrances that you can use for a day date, and you can use these between all year. Actually, I gave you a couple that you use in the spring and the summer, and I gave you 5 that you could use in spring and summer, and then 5 that you could use in the fall or the winter during the day. And also, these fragrances can work at any time. They can work at nighttime, daytime, or whatever, but they are really good if you're looking for a fragrance to work with you during the day. All right, so that's all I have for you today. It's your boy Will Report. I appreciate your time. I know you could be anywhere else in the world, but you're hanging out with me talking about 10 fragrances that you can wear during the day for a date. And that's all I have for you again. Until next time, deuces.